Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. API design using SwaggerHub and Azure API management. Designing APIs effectively is crucial for ensuring they are usable, maintainable, and scalable. In this tutorial, we will explore API design using SwaggerHub for designing the API specification and Azure API management for managing and deploying the API. Part 1, Designing the API with SwaggerHub. Step 1, Create a SwaggerHub account. 1. Go to SwaggerHub, https://swagger.io/tools/SwaggerHub. 2. Sign up for a free account if you don't already have one. Step 2, Create a new API. 1. After logging in, click on Create New. 2. Choose API and enter a name for your API, example mysampleapi. 3. Select the version, example 1.0.0, and choose an API type, OpenAPI 2.0 or OpenAPI 3.0. Step 3, Define API specification. In the SwaggerHub editor, you can define your API endpoints, request/response models, and other metadata. Here's an example of a simple API for managing a to-do list. YAML. OpenAPI 3.0.0. Info. Title, Todo API. Description, a simple API to manage to-do items. Version, 1.0.0. Servers. URL, https://api.example.com/v1. Paths. /todos. Get. Summary, get all to-do items. Responses. 200. Description, a list of to-do items. Content. Application/JSON. Schema. Type, array. Items. $ref, /components/schema/todo. Post. Summary, create a new to-do item. Request body. Required, true. Content. Application/JSON. Schema. $ref, /components/schema/todo. Responses. 201. Description, to-do item created. Content. Application/JSON. Schema. $ref, /components/schema/todo. /todo/id. Get. Summary, get a specific to-do item by ID. Parameters. Name, ID. In, path. Required, true. Description, the ID of the to-do item. Schema. Type, string. Responses. 200. Description, a to-do item. Content. Application/JSON. Schema. $ref, /components/schema/todo. 404. Description, to-do item not found. Put. Summary, update a to-do item. Parameters. Name, ID. In, path. Required, true. Description, the ID of the to-do item. Schema. Type, string. Request body. Required, true. Content. Application/JSON. Schema. $ref, /components/schema/todo. Responses. 200. Description, to-do item updated. Content. Application/JSON. Schema. $ref, /components/schema/todo. Delete. Summary, delete a to-do item. Parameters: name, ID. In, path. Required, true. Description, the ID of the to-do item. Schema. Type, string. Responses: 204. Description, to-do item deleted. Components. Schemas. Todo. Type, object. Properties. ID. Type, string. Title. Type, string. Completed. Type, Boolean. Step 4, collaborate and document. You can invite team members to collaborate on the API design. SwaggerHub provides features for versioning and documentation generation. Part 2, deploying the API with Azure API management. Step 1, create an Azure account. 1. Go to Azure, https://azure.microsoft.com. 2. Sign up for a free account if you don't have one. Step 2, create an API management service. 1. In the Azure portal, click on Create a Resource. 2. Search for API management and select it. 3. Click Create and fill in the necessary details, name, subscription, resource group, etc. 4. Choose the pricing tier and click Create. Step 3, import API from SwaggerHub. 1. Once your API management instance is created, navigate to it. 2. Click on APIs from the left menu. 3. Click on plus Add API and select OpenAPI. 4. In the OpenAPI specification section, paste the URL of your SwaggerHub API definition or upload the OpenAPI file. 5. Click Create. Step 4, configure API settings. 1. After importing, you can configure settings like rate limits, caching, security, example OAuth 2.0, backend service URL. Step 5, testing the API. 1. Navigate to the Test tab in the Azure API Management portal. 2. You can test your endpoints directly from the portal. 3. Make sure to provide any required headers, query parameters, or request body. Example, testing the API. To test your /Todos endpoint, you might perform the following. Get request to retrieve all Todos. HTTP. Get https your API management instance.azureapi.net/v1/todos. Post request to create a new Todo. HTTP. Post https your API management instance.azureapi.net/v1/todos. Content type, application/JSON. Title, Learn Azure API Management. Completed, false. Conclusion. This tutorial provided a comprehensive overview of designing an API using SwaggerHub and deploying it using Azure API Management. You learned how to create an OpenAPI specification, collaborate on it, import it into Azure, and test the endpoints. Additional tips. Use SwaggerHub's built-in mock server to test your API before deployment. Explore Azure API management features like analytics, monitoring, and security options to enhance your API. Resources. SwaggerHub documentation, https://swagger.io/tools/SwaggerHub. Azure API management documentation, https://docs.microsoft.com/n-a/azure/API-management. By following these steps, you can create a robust API that is easy to manage and scale as your application grows. Happy coding!